what actually makes a good, successful storytelling story for people to use for business?
Well, I think you got to start with the result that you want, right? Start with what you're trying to achieve. Like, you ever hear about the hero's two journey?
Mhm.
This is like the concept of, if you're going to tell a story, one, you need to relate to the character, right? And then two, you need to see them go on an actual journey, the physical journey, and then the emotional journey. So a lot of people have that emotional journey really like sought out, like, oh, I had, or the physical journey really sought out, right? They might touch into the emotional journey, but then they don't bring it all together to the epiphany moment that converts to the result that they want. So it's that end epiphany where it all comes together, that physical journey, right? The emotional journey, where it's like, yes, here's the epiphany moment. And this is what you do with it. It's the what you do with it that matters, right? A lot of people go on and they tell their sad story, and they might even tell the fact that they triumphed. But then how does this apply to me, the listener? How does this apply to me? What can I do with it, right? So, when I went through my difficult time and I had this epiphany realization I need to start a company on culture, right? That's the journey of my epiphany, right? It was the physical journey, it's the emotional journey. I started a business, I'm thriving in this business, but now it's what can you do with it? Well, we have spent the last decade working with specialists and experts to create culture programs that companies can use that are, specific to them,
Right.
right? Like now this is what you need to do with it because the epiphany is that every single person wakes up excited in your company,
Mm.
you are going to get 60% greater productivity. You are going to get higher profitabilities. You are going to find retention, loyalty, better A team players. Like don't kid yourself, it's a strategy, right? So when you're storytelling, that's the journey they have to go on and then what to do with it. How does it apply to them? And I
Right.
think people miss that what to do with it piece. Would you
Exactly.
agree?
Oh, totally. Because people are so caught up in the past and
Yeah.
what they're successful in the past, and they kind of stop there, and they keep on retelling that same story how they overcame it. But then now what? Now what did you do with it? Now what did you do with your second chance or your second life or whatever it is that you've done, right? And they kind of miss that moment, and people go, okay, well that doesn't really apply to me anymore, so I'm just gonna go find somebody else. So
Right.
it's I totally agree. And when you're saying that once you get that epiphany moment and people go, okay, I got it. Now I'm passionate. I want to share it. And you go, okay, great. Now share with it on screen and in front of the camera. And they go,
Right.
can somebody else do it? Can we just write about it? Can we just type it out? Or but no, you have to be in front of the camera. So how do people get past the camera fright?
Ah. It does help if you have like our videographers that we use are so good at getting people through that, right? Because it's like you don't have to stress about the tech. Like if you're doing it yourself, it's hard sometimes to get started. You're stressing about the tech, and then you're like, oh, what if I mess up and worry about what they say and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, if you're gonna do it yourself, push through the cringe. Like the first 40 times you will be on camera will be cringeworthy, but you got to just put it out there. You put it out there, push through the cringe, you'll find your voice, you'll find your vibe, and you got to keep going, right? Like you've done over what, 200 interviews?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, like you got to push through. If you went back and looked at your first interview, do you think it would be like,
I don't.
no, right? And I don't go back and look at mine because I feel cringe. I still get that cringe
Mm.
feel. But you got to push through and get in front of that camera to do it because what's more important, inspiring those around you or feeling embarrassed? Right? And it's going to be cringy. It's going to be embarrassing, but push through because you'll find your vibe. You'll find your footing. Like you don't go to a dance studio and start dancing like an expert,
Mm.
right? You have to go and you have to trip over yourself a little bit, and it's okay. And I think people actually resonate with that because it's authentic. Like every time I see somebody holding their camera on social and they're like a little awkward, I'm like, you get them, you go. Like you're out there. There's like 90% of the people just take in social. There's only like 10% of the creators,
Exactly.
right? So you
Exactly.
can have a voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody said something interesting recently, and they said that if you are too scared of sharing your message or speaking in front of a camera because you don't want to be embarrassed and all that kind of stuff, he said, "Well, shame of you. you're just being selfish because all you're thinking about is yourself. I'm like, ah, that's
That's
a
right.
on it because you're
I
not
love
thinking
that.
about the other people. So I'm like, ah, that's cool. I'll use that next time.
I love that 100% because like your message is more powerful. You have to be so bought into what you're doing that you're willing to get uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Who else is going to follow you if you're not? Yay!
So if you're using gift bag as a metaphor for success, how is success like a gift bag?
This is a great question. How is success like a gift bag? I suppose success looks really shiny. You see all the people on the outside, like the frills and the ribbons that the gift bag is, and you're like, oh, look, it was just like so easy. And you don't realize all the things that had to go inside of it to really make that success work. It takes 10 years to be an overnight success. And I think you see the gift bag. It's just the outside of what you see. You don't see all the hard work and the dedication that went inside of it.
I see that and it's like, oh wait, but there's more.
There's so much more.
So that's how success is like a gift bag.